All right, we're live on the air. Welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, February 11th, 2019. I am your host, Kim Mattina. I am a Google certified trainer and a gold product expert in the Google for Education, Jamboard, and CS First Help Forum. And I am so excited to have on my show Mr. Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook. Hi, Matt.
Hey, it's so good to be on this show. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, I'm so glad that you've took the time out to be on my little show. I know you've been
Yeah.
busy all over the place attending new conferences. I've been following you on Twitter, so I really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate your
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
Um, I am going to say that Mr. Miller is an author, a blogger, a presenter, and an educator. He is the head textbook ditcher for Ditch That Textbook. And he is also an award winner for Ditch That Textbook and Ditch That Homework. And not to mention, he is a Google certified innovator, a Skype master teacher, and a BAMI Award nominee. He lives in Indiana and he's happily married with 3 children. So, welcome to my show, Matt.
Yes. Thank you so much. This will be awesome. I love what you do. So really happy to be a part of it.
Well, thank you, and same with you. I had the pleasure of being on your Google Teacher Tribe podcast with you and Casey Bell a few weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun. And
Yes.
that was actually the first time I met you. Well,
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
digitally, right?
Yeah. We get to see each other face to face for the first time this time.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So
yeah.
that was a different platform for me as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we all learn something new, and we evolve and learn together. So that's what it's all about, paying it
Exactly.
forward.
Yes.
So I'm so glad that you're going to be on because you're going to be talking about how you can use Google Drawings in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Google Drawings is an app that you can find in Drive, and when I introduce it to the students at my school, I usually introduce it as it is similar to Microsoft Paint because most people may be able to relate to Paint more than Google Drawings. Not many people know about Google Drawings. It is a gem, a hidden gem, I call it, because it has so many possibilities. It's an open canvas. So I'm glad that you're going to share a lot of your resources, a lot of ideas. I know I've used many of your resources and templates, and I've passed them along to teachers in my school, and I've heard a lot of positive feedback about them. So I thank you for that as
Mm-hmm.
well. But it's just great because I think, like I said, it's a hidden gem and not many people know about it. And actually,
Yeah.
you know what's funny, Matt? You would appreciate this. I had a student come up to me a couple weeks ago and say to me, "Oh, Mrs. Matina, um, when you go into Google Drive and you hit new and you hit more, Google Drawings is there." I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so it's a new way of it's a different app and it's a new way to introduce old content.
Yeah, it is. It is in many ways. I always like to joke with that more button. I say that, you got docs and slides and sheets on the main, and then we've got to go down to more to find Google Drawings. And I always joke that it's like they're making Google Drawings a second class citizen, I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a good product. Why do people do that? I don't get it. But
Well, because it's people like you that have to shed light on it and make it popular
yeah.
so it becomes into that first class citizen menu
There
on
you go. There you go. I like the sound of that. I like the MS Paint comparison. If anybody's watching this and you're not super familiar with Google Drawings, my favorite way to describe it is that it's kind of like a digital poster board or a big digital piece of paper. And the thing that I like about drawings is that it is pretty easy to get into, like pretty easy to start using. Um, so the barrier to entry into Google Drawings is really pretty low, and that goes for students as well as teachers. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. All right, so hopefully, Kim, can you see my Google Drawing?
Yes, I could see it.
Excellent. Okay, so you can see that right up here at the top. This, by the way, is your Google Drawing, and hopefully in your screen you'll be able to see the outline of the drawing here. I mean, it's just a rectangle, the regular size of just about a sheet of paper turned horizontally. hot dog style, as they like to call it, I think, instead of hamburger style. The thing that I like about this is that it is really self-explanatory. And if you're familiar with slides or PowerPoint, then this will come like natural to you. And so up here at the top, you can see these are all of the tools that you really use to add things to a Google drawing. You can add lines, you can add shapes, you can add text boxes, and you can add images. And that's really about it. But the nice thing about drawings is that with those things, again, low barrier of entry to get into. It makes it easy to get into, but there's so much that you can do with them. And so, Kim, I know in our notes when we were getting ready for this presentation, we had about 5 different things that you could do with Google Drawings. Do you want me to start going down through the list, or how would you like me to do that?
However you want, that's fine. You can go through the graphic organizers. I know there's a lot in there, so.
Yeah, I'll just kind of touch on that to start. Yeah, I'll just do one at a time, and then I'll kind of like pause, and then we can chat, and we'll just keep rolling. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right, cool. So with the graphic organizers, I'll get to my blog post in a second, but Google Drawings really is a great place to be able to create graphic organizers. And I don't know about you, but I really do like using graphic organizers because it does help students through their thinking process. So what that means is, instead of doing something kind of like a like a kind of like a mindless worksheet of sorts, where you have kind of like one answer that's expected to be used, then you're just kind of asking students to regurgitate it. With Google or with graphic organizers, a lot of times we're helping students we're helping to guide them in their thinking instead.
Yeah,
And
I love the visual learning piece of Google Drawings, because it definitely helps the visual learner, but it benefits all types of learners, and it helps with brainstorming, organizing your thoughts, and you can create any type of graphic organizer and use it as a KWL chart, a Venn diagram, really anything. It's just another way of organizing your information.
Yes, absolutely. Totally agree with that. And if you create a graphic organizer, then of course, once it's done, you're able to share it with your students through Google Classroom. Which is super easy to do. You create your assignment, and then you go to you attach that file to your Google Classroom assignment, and then use the little drop down to make a copy for every student. So what I have on the screen here is what is a pretty simple Venn diagram, and I drew it with these 2 shapes. And so we got a blue sort of oval type thing going on over here, and then we've got a reddish one over here. Now you'll notice in the middle that it's kind of a purple color, right? This is a trick that I learned from the fantastic Tony Vincent. I just had him on a presentation of my free online conference for teachers, the Ditch That Textbook Digital Summit. And he said, whenever you're making something like this, if you want them to cross over so that you can see, the colors kind of blend like this, here's the trick that he gave. He said, you create this shape, and then of course you've got the paint bucket up here where you can change the color. But if you come down to custom, you'll see that not only can you pick a color, not only can you pick a darker or lighter version of it, but you can also make it increasingly transparent. So I took it down to about half transparency here on the blue and half transparency on the red, so that now when they overlap, you can see the spot where they overlap, which I thought was kind of a cool trick.
Oh, I like that trick. Yeah.
See, I'd never heard of that one before. So.
Yeah, that's a new one to me too. I didn't know that.
Yep. Here's the text for the red. So now all we do is we just draw in our text box here, and we can say, here is the text for the purple. Now, obviously, we're not going to say this when we
Yeah.
assign it to the students. We'll have something that we're comparing and contrasting. But you can see where these are the places where the students would write their text in. And it can be something just as simple as this to create these graphic organizers. You make one like this, you attach it to an assignment, and you make a copy for each student. And now they have the template set out for them. And so I kind of like that. And now to add on to that, I wrote a post on my website, Ditch That Textbook. And it started out as 15 free Google Drawings graphic organizers and how to make your own. But we've updated it recently. And so now we've boosted it up to 25. And so if you scroll down through here, you're going to see a little bit of, a little bit of
There's
instruction.
tons of them in there. Tons.
Yeah. And then there's a simple Venn diagram, not quite as pretty as the one that I just made. You got KWL, timeline evaluation, character maps, Cornell note taking, the Freyer model, and then all the rest of these down here. These are all ones that were submitted by readers of Ditch That Textbook. And so we've got some really clever ones, like this labeling the moon phases one is really clever. And so yeah, you've got all of these different ones. And what's nice about these is all you have to do is just open one up, and then you can make a copy of it by clicking this. And as soon as you do that, it's saved into your drive. Now, because it's your copy, think about, like, I'm giving you mine to go take down to the photocopier and make a copy of it. Well, that copy becomes yours. So this, once you make a copy, it lives in your drive, and you can now go and assign it in Google Classroom. So lots of possibility for using these graphic organizers in the classroom, I think.
Yeah, like I said, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about that particular post because as a technology teacher, I just started at a new school, and I'm trying to provide technology tips to staff at my school. So every week I send out GTMS Ed Tech tips, and your post was one of the tips for the week. And basically supporting Google Drawings and graphic organizers, and I supported it with your templates. And I got feedback from a few of the teachers saying that a lot of the graphic organizer templates were helpful.
Yeah,
they can be used in any class. And she said she was going to use them, so I was like, great, that's what I want to hear. Just trying to push in a different concept or different tool so that the kids can be exposed to different apps.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, and then I know, like, recently I just created a template for digital storytelling, and it's just so simple, like how you just created your Venn diagram. I just inserted a rectangle up at the top for the title, a bigger rectangle for the body, and a smaller rectangle at the bottom. I copied those objects, I grouped them, I copied them, and made 3 columns because the students were going to have 3 scenes, and they were able to follow along with the concept, because I think it's a visual thing. When you're displaying information visually, I think students get a better grasp and understanding of the concept or of their expectation. And Google Drawings, if you manipulate it in that way, it's going to end up becoming your friend. You're gonna want to use it more.
Yes, you find more and more reasons to use it. Yes,
yeah,
I'm exactly the same way. Yeah, so yeah, totally agree with that. So graphic organizers, one easy way, and especially if you've already got that pre-created template, or like you said, Kim, you can make your own, and you don't even have to make anything fancy. The old standbys are the ones that a lot of times people use, like the Venn and the KWL and, different stuff like that. You don't even have to use those. If you just think of a handful of things that you want kids to do, and you just build out a place where they can write about it, I mean, that can be just as effective as anything. So
exactly.
Yeah, so there's one of them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. What I wanted to ask you now, I know you listed all of these, different drawn files. You don't have to go over them, become notes too, but a couple things I want to ask you. Is that okay?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to talk about those the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. You do whatever. I'm
We have
happy to do
Wi-Fi.
that. Yes.
Okay, we're good. Oh,
Yes.
we're back. So is that okay if I ask you a couple techie questions about Google Drawings?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So one of my pet peeves is the page size.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I know when you're creating a template or a drawn file or whatnot, um, it is recommended to, in my opinion, it's recommended to change the page size or the page type initially, right? Before you start your
Oh, yeah.
creation.
Hmm.
So whenever I forget to do that, it readjusts my whole canvas
It does. Yep.
and every object that I have on there, I have to resize.
Yeah.
Is there a, do you have any particular advice or tip about what
Hmm.
um, page size or, what unit we should be using or anything like that?
I think it really totally depends on what it is that you're creating. So, if you're making something that's intended to be printable, then, at least here in the United States, we'd probably want to make it 8.5 by 11 inches or 11 by 8.5 inches. Other than that, I mean, it can really go with the type of um, activity that you're doing. For instance, if you're doing a timeline, who says that you have to have an 8.5 by 11 thing when you could just go like this and you can make it just a long, skinny rectangle and the lines right through the middle of it. And then that way, all of this extra space up at the top or the bottom, so in that case, you might make it 11 wide by maybe 5 inches tall or something.
But
So I
I know
think,
like some things now. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Sorry, because you are the
okay,
Google Drawings guru.
okay,
So I know some things like just say you want to create, I don't know, a header or a YouTube header or a
yeah,
social media post, and some things are measured in pixels.
right.
So what is your advice in changing, like trying to size up a page size using pixels as opposed to inches
Hmm.
or whatnot? Because like I said, I have a hard time, and it's my own fault because I don't change the page size in the beginning. When I
Hmm.
change it after I'm done, it
Okay.
readjusts everything, and then I just can't get it back to a normal state.
Okay. So the big question here is how do we not distort all of the things whenever we change the page size?
There
That's
you
that's the
go.
big question right there. Okay. All right. I think I can answer that. So one way to do well, the long and the short of it is I think that if you change all of the page size, there's probably a good chance that you're going to need to resize some of the elements on your page, which you already know about. Here's a trick that I've used before, and sometimes it works better than others is sometimes before I change if I've already laid some things out on the page, because I do it the same as you. A lot of times I get excited and I get going and I'm like, oh, this page is not big enough or this page is not wide enough. And I need to resize it. So what I'll do is I will highlight everything on the page and I will cut it. Then I'll make the change and then I'll paste all the elements back onto it.
And they are the right size or not really?
If I remember correctly, they aren't distorted in that they're not like
They're not
totally.
tiny. They're not very tiny. They're
Yeah. Oh, and well, if that's, I mean, again, it depends on how you're resizing it. So if you're resizing something from a 4x6 to a 40x60, then of course they're going to be 10 times too small, in which case I would highlight all of them and then grab that top corner draggable, little box. But I'd hold in my shift key whenever I did that so that everything grows at the same size and it doesn't get. And then that way I can pull them all out and make them bigger to fit the space. And then from there, I'll have to do a little extra rearranging to make sure that everything fits in the space the way that I like.
So you're saying to highlight all of your objects, hold the shift key down, and then drag that
Mm-hmm.
little. You can drag that little tab at
Yeah.
the bottom,
Yeah. Here, let me
and
share my
it
screen.
sizes everything.
I'll just do it real quick. Okay.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's our Venn diagram, right? And so if we come down here and we change, now watch, it's going to make a liar out of me.
I know, right? It always does.
Yeah. Let's say instead of 10 by 7.5 inches, we want to make it 20 by 7.5 inches, and it does that. This is what you're trying to avoid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to undo and bring it back the way that it was. Let's highlight everything and cut it. And then we're going to go to page setup. And now we'll change it to 20 by 7.5. And then we paste. And now it's back in the same, at least everything isn't stretched out the way that it was before.
Yeah.
But now from here, I'm going to highlight everything. And now notice that if I drag like this, it's going to distort it. But if I hold that shift key, now it's going to do it. Now, obviously, the text isn't that way, but it's going to resize all of the items from there.
So the
now, what I
shift key
can
is the trick.
Yes, the shift key is the trick. Now,
Okay.
here's another trick that I learned about recently, too, is with your text. This is very useful if you have lots of text boxes to change or shapes to change or whatever. Let's say that this text is too small now, because it is, and we want to make this bigger. Let's say we make it 36. Okay, and let's say that we want to change our font too. So we'll change. No, we're going to change it to Lobster. I kind of like Lobster. Okay. Kim, do you have any favorite Google fonts? Are you like me,
I like
where you've got it?
Too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like Comic Sans.
You like Comic Sans?
Yeah.
That's kind of a controversial one.
Some
people have very strong feelings against Comic Sans.
I know, but I like it.
Yeah. Hey, I don't have any judgment on that whatsoever. So.
And I like I think it's called Comfortito or something. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
My absolute favorite one, by the way, is Luckiest Guy.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. In fact, let's change it. There we go. You'll see that if you ever see the things I create on Ditch That Textbook, you'll see a lot of Luckiest Guy.
That looks familiar.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. So here's the trick I wanted to show you, because remember, we just changed this and now all of our text is too small. So we changed it. We changed the text in this one place. You have the paint roller. And I think a lot of people don't know what the paint roller does. So if you click on the paint roller once, now we have highlighted all of this text. I did this before I clicked the paint roller. And now I can come over here and I can click on this box and it will copy that text over.
Yeah, I love the paint roller. I'm glad.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Google has added a new feature to the paint roller recently where if you see it, notice I changed all of this text to Luckiest Guy and made it bigger. And then I highlighted all the text. Now I'm going to double click the paint roller and now it's locked in place. So you may have noticed when I did this earlier, I clicked on this one and then the paint roller turned off and it was over. But now, because I've double clicked it, I can click this one and I can click this one. I can click as many of them as I want. And now all of a sudden they all look the same. So those are probably the two big tricks for anybody else who has resized their Google Drawings and they want to make sure that things don't get all wonky.
Distorted. Yeah. Now I'm glad you went over the paintbrush tool. Mm-hmm. That's another underestimated tool also.
Yes, absolutely.
I use that all the time in Google Sheets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, but using it in Google Drawings like that is a great recommendation too. I just can't get a handle on that page resize. I don't know, because I'll end up changing the unit, and now I'm working in pixels, and everything that I've put on my canvas is tiny, and then I'm trying to figure out, how to convert. It's just, I just start over again.
Yeah. Now you do know about the little thing in the corner that lets you grab it and resize it, right?
Well, that's what I thought you were talking about, but you weren't. You were talking about holding and using the shift key on the objects. So
yeah,
I knew that. I knew that little tab there on the bottom corner. But again, like Google Drawings is nice too, because you can download it as an image file.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so like I create a lot of my rubrics using Google Drawings because I feel like I have the formatting tools that I like to use for rubrics. So I'll download it as a JPEG, or I think it's PNG, right?
Yeah. And again, I'm going to do a real fast screen share and show everybody. You come up here to File, and then you can go to Download As, and you can actually download it as a PDF.
PDF, yeah.
Yep. You can do it as a scalable graphic or vector graphic, but then these are the two most common ones, is JPEG and PNG. And I like to use PNGs for the ones where you keep things transparent. And then JPEG, if you have it like this checkerboard back here, some people will know is a transparency, but if you download it as a JPEG, it just gets converted over to white. So yeah, if you want to download those, that's how that works.
Yeah,
So
I love Google Drawings,
yeah.
I
Oh
really
yeah.
do. I love
Yeah,
it.
me too.
And
Yep.
like I said, I'll download it and download it as a PNG and then put it in Google Classroom and attach it to an assignment in there
Yeah.
or into a hyperdoc,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it's just got so much potential there.
Yeah. And along that same line, that's an easy way to use it as a teacher and as a student. It really gives them options too. For instance, if they're going to write an essay or a research report and they want to create some graphics or they want to create some charts or something that could be included in it, or if they're working on a Google site and they want to have some graphics for it, then this is an easy way to do it. And just like you were talking about earlier, we download that drawing as an image file and now it's fixed and you can't change anything in it, and you just stick that onto a website real super easily. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
love
I
it.
definitely. You got to check out Matt's website. He's got so many resources, so
Yeah.
much great content in there. He shared a lot of his resources in the show notes for tonight.
Yeah.
Um, you spoke about graphic organizers,
Hmm.
interactive posters. He put a link in there as well. Comic strips. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about that part.
Yeah.
Comic strips. You can use your own webcam, take a
Yeah.
picture of yourself, and put in a call out, the call out object into the drawing, and then you can have captions in there as well. Um, Infographics. I mean, there's
Hmm.
so much here that he's provided for free.
Yeah.
So you have to visit the show notes, and you can actually select the topic that you have interest in and go to his
Hmm.
website. The name of your website is ditchthattextbook.com,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, it is.
And he's got a newsletter. You can sign up and he'll send you all of the information every week to your inbox because I
Yes.
am a subscriber.
Yes. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know we're running out of time, but we had a really great conversation, and I'm just glad that you were able to offer some of your expertise on graphic organizers, and you were nice enough to create one and share a lot of tips
Oh
on
yeah.
doing that. Is
Yeah.
there anything else that you want to add, or um, is that it?
No, that I mean, yeah, all of those links are there. You mentioned the email newsletter. That's kind of my big exciting project that I have going on a regular basis, and that's like every week you're getting practical ideas just like these. We just started a new printable PD option where we've got a downloadable PDF that you can print out and share with people. We're doing giveaways of some free Ditch That Textbook swag on the email newsletter. So yeah, if people want to join that, probably the easiest way to do it is go to ditchthattextbook.com/101 because there is a free ebook called 101 Practical Ways to Ditch That Textbook that you can get when you sign up. So
I got
I
that.
bet you do. Yeah. Yes.
And one other thing I just want to add, I know we went over a couple minutes, but it's okay.
Mhm.
I just want to add that I found also on Matt's website, he created an Instagram template, not with
Oh
Google
yeah.
Drawings, but he used Google Slides. So he also has a lot of great templates for slides in there as well. And the Instagram template, you can make a copy of it and tweak it to the way you need it as well. So he's
Yeah.
got a lot of great resources there other than Google Drawings. So just check it out. You may find something there that you can help you in your classroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, I am going to share my screen and we're going to wrap up the show.
Right.
So you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's all the show notes from tonight. You can visit my website at thesweettalk.com and you can check out any past episodes on the episode page. All of the episodes are listed here. The YouTube link and the show notes are here as well. If you'd like to be a guest on my show, click on the guest page, fill out the form, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And you can see future guests on my show if you click on the schedule tab. And you can see I have someone almost every week. So I'm really thankful about that. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, my newsletter, and I am on Podbean and Google Play Music, and now I'm on Apple Podcasts, which I just got that on last week. So with that said, that concludes the show. I'm back,
Yay.
right?
Yes.
So I really appreciate you being on, Matt. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This has been fun. Thanks,
It was
Kim.
a lot of fun. All right,
Yeah.
until next time, I will see you later. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.